half the people don't want to follow this ridiculous ideological religious regime, and they're just basically saying, please come help us. Now, Trump, you've said that help is on the way. So what are you doing, President? We're all worried about who's gonna be the next person up. I'm not worried about that.
Why not?
Because what are the Iranian people are asking? Are they shouting, who's the next person? That will be figured out.
We have to be smart in that, Adam, if you take out that head and another guy just like him comes in, everything that those people have been fighting for.
You don't think that if they thought about that?
Well, Adam,
give our military a little bit of credit. They're not like, what?
No,
we're gonna get a new leader.
Adam,
in there?
they thought
Look
of
what
it.
they did in Venezuela.
Well, comparing Iran to what Trump carried out in Venezuela is maybe the worst comparison because of the fact that the whole goal with this war with Iran is regime change. And even in the case of Venezuela, there was no regime change. We just simply kidnapped the Venezuelan leader. But the spat between Adam Sosnick and Vinny Oshana on the PBD podcast, I think is a really good way of kind of underscoring a growing division among those on the right in regard to whether or not we go to war with Iran. And honestly, that division is shown in the polling, which we'll get to in just a minute. But first, Cenk, your 2 cents.
Yeah, the reason I like this story is it shows you who on the right is totally in the tank for Israel and who are actually have a little bit of, hey, maybe we meant America first and maybe we actually meant anti-war. So two very different camps. Interesting to see which hosts are in which one, and also I want you guys to pay attention to everyone pushing us into this war and telling us that it's going to be easy, it's no problem, we should definitely do it because we went through this in the Iraq war. You should never trust them again because they'll be back. And next time they're like, we got to go into Turkey. You have to, and they'll do the same exact trick. Yep. So remember who lied to you right now, and we're about to show you that.
So here's more from the debate between Sosnick and Oshana.
Venezuela was easy, small, and now you're talking about Iran, and you're talking about people that want to kill all of us. So yeah, it's a whole different situation.
So what's your solution?
Adam, my solution is, I don't know what their solution is because they obviously had a leader. They obviously had a leader in mind. He obviously is not the guy. Trump even said about Reza Pahlavi, he's not the guy. You're not the guy.
Well,
so
what do you want to do with the Ayatollah Khomeini? Let's stay there.
Okay, ready for this, Adam, let's get him. Let's put him in jail forever. Who's taking his spot?
Like another 6 months.
Adam, who's taking his spot? Since you know so much, and we're sitting in the studio in beautiful Florida.
Whoever it is it going to be worse than this clown?
Says who?
How do you know?
The people shouting death to Khomeini. How about those?
Okay,
how about those people?
Adam, it's.
Are you not? Hold on. Let me just be very clear. Are you not listening to the protesters and what they're asking for?
Even if every single demonstrator in Iran was chanting against the regime in Iran, it doesn't apply to the conversation we're having about US involvement, what the US should do. Why should the US get involved? That's the question here. But nonetheless, Adam Sosnick is Israeli himself, and much like the Israeli government, he doesn't really seem to care much about the aftermath of carrying out a coup with no plan after the coup, right? That's what Oshana's trying to get at here. And Vinny realizes this could be a huge problem. The current regime could be replaced with something far worse. There's no plan. That's what he's trying to say. And Adam Sosnick is saying, who cares? Because look, the whole point is do away with the regime, destabilize Iran, make it easier for Israel to carry out the Greater Israel Project. That's what this is. Go ahead, Cenk.
Yeah, so I want to break down what Adam Weak Sosnick is saying. So he says, number one, Ayatollah is a bad guy. I heard this in Iraq, Saddam's a bad guy. And then we said, yeah, Saddam's a bad guy, but it doesn't mean we should lose 5,000 men there or get 50,000 injured, lose a couple of $1 trillion. And they're like, oh, that means you're pro-Saddam. So here comes the Israelis, the same exact trick. Oh, are you pro-Ayatollah? Ayatollah's a bad guy. That's why we should do a super dumb war that costs you thousands of men and trillions of dollars. But hey, Israel get regime change and the entire Middle East will be defenseless to their expansion. Okay, so that's what he's saying. So that's point one, which makes no sense at all. The same weak sauce that we heard in Iraq. Point two, the protesters. Adam's heart goes out to the protesters. Remember when the Palestinians were protesting Israel? He was like, kill them all. They're all Hamas. Kill all the Muslim protesters. Now Muslim protesters are, oh my God, I care so much about them. Oh, heart to the Muslim protesters in Iran. Oh, come on, who's stupid enough to think that Adam or any Israeli cares about Muslim protesters in Iran? And then their answer for that is, oh, let's drop a bomb on their head, and that way we'll liberate them from their lives.
No, my favorite thing is, without providing a shred of evidence bolstering this argument, that like 70,000 Iranians have been killed by the regime.
They just keep making up that number.
And
total lie.
But if you turn around and you ask them, do you accept that Israel has slaughtered over 70,000 people in Gaza? They'll deny it, even though at this point, the IDF has accepted that number publicly. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's totally amazing. These people are scumbags. Go ahead.
So, real quick on that. So, did people die in the protest? No question. Was Mossad there agitating for violence? No question. They said it on social media. We're in the streets with you guys, and we found a plan that the Israelis wanted to start the violence so they could use it as an excuse for the war. Then they made up a number, totally unverified by anyone. I wish we knew what the real number was. There is a real number. People were killed, and I'd love to know it, but we don't know it. They just made it up complete. So when you hear 30,000, it's nothing but a lie. So to Anna's point, we have 71,000 killed in Gaza at a bare minimum, and now the IDF has actually confirmed at a minimum of 71,000. But Huckabee just the other day with Tucker Carlson was like, oh, I don't know, there's no numbers. It's Hamas, you can't trust the numbers. And then they're like, 30,000 killed in Iran.
It's amazing.
Oh, okay, so you're lying, 100% lying.
So, look, one thing we know for sure is that Adam Sosnick does not believe that democracy is even possible in Iran. So like this whole thing about like what comes next. A, he doesn't care. B, he doesn't think the Iranian people who he cares about so deeply are even capable of carrying out a democratic society. Take a look.
If they take out Khamenei, if they take out Pezeshkian, if they take out all the people in Iran, how quickly will you have an election to replace it? That's
election in Iran?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question on that?
Go for it.
Election in Iran seems like an oxymoron because let's look at case examples.
Right.
So what are the free democratically elected rulers or countries in the Middle East? I got one, Israel. Any other Middle Eastern countries that practice democracy? We've seen what happens when we try to implement our worldview over there. It gets real ugly. So you have three options. Correct me if I'm wrong. You have supreme leader vibes, which is this complete theological, theocratic Shiite regime, which they seem to be done with. You have king or ruler, which was the Shah, or you have democracy. In my opinion, you have to go the middle version. They're done with the Shiite ruler, and there's zero case examples that democracy will work in the Middle East. We could wish for it, we could love it. Yes, you're gonna be just like America. I don't know if that's possible there. So maybe you need a temporary Shah, whether it's Reza Pahlavi, whatever it is, but there's no evidence in the last 50 years that a democracy can work in the Middle East.
Now, it's not surprising to me at all that Sosnick is promoting Reza Pahlavi, who's a dog of the Israeli government, and I really do mean that with my whole chest. They want an easily manipulated, easily controlled, Israeli puppet in Iran, and that's why he's like, no, they're not capable of a democracy. And I also know Adam Sosnick is not really a well-read individual, right? It's not really something that interests him. But maybe I can educate him on the fact that Iran actually did elect someone democratically, but democracy is real difficult to carry out when the United States and its allies aren't in favor of the leaders that are chosen through a democratic process. And so why don't we turn to the next video, because-
Can I just say one thing about that? So I just want to remind you guys why Israel doesn't want a democracy in Iran, because the Iranian people are against Israel. So if the Iranian people get their wish, they would also probably do the similar things that the Ayatollah did in that specific regard, not in the other regards, right? So that's why Israel has tried really hard to keep dictators in place in different critical countries in the Middle East. So Jordan, UAE, Egypt, etc. And when there was an Arab Spring, Israel despised the Arab Spring and tried to bring generals like al-Sisi in Egypt back into power. So that's why they want the puppet Pahlavi. That's why Adam Weak Sosnick says, oh, these uncivilized people. I mean, my heart breaks for them, and I think we should kill them to liberate them, but they're not worthy of democracy. No, they need an Israeli puppet to be their leader, and that's why he keeps talking about Pahlavi.
So in 1953, the US and the UK helped overthrow a democratically elected leader in Iran because he wanted to actually look out for the Iranian people as opposed to allow foreign governments to rape and pillage their land. So this is what I mean.
In 1951, the parliament elects Mossadegh prime minister with a large majority. He's a wealthy landowner and a monarchist, but introduces sweeping reforms, including more rights for workers, social security, and a tax on landowners. Mossadegh's priority, though, is getting the British out and nationalizing oil. Mossadegh, with the approval of parliament, announces the nationalization of the company in April 1951. Meanwhile, the British still want to recover their stake in the oil industry and approach the Americans with a plan for a coup in Iran. In November and December 1952, CIA and MI6 agents hold secret talks. The US agrees to the plan despite the objections of some CIA officers, and Operation Ajax is born. The CIA, MI6, the Shah, once he'll be informed, and some anti-Mossadegh Iranians will work together to remove Mossadegh from power.
And that's what they did. So the insulting claim that the Iranian people are incapable of democracy when he probably knows the fact that we joined forces with other allies to overthrow a democratically elected leader is, it's Sosnick 101. It really is.
To be fair to him, he really might not know it. He doesn't know much at all. He didn't know what the Persian Gulf was called. So look, there's a split within the right, and Vinny has the right instincts, and Tom sitting next to him kind of halfway agrees. But it's like, I'm gonna keep it real. It looks like Patrick Bet-David wants the war.
He does.
And it looks like he wants whatever Israel tells him to want. And so, I'm saying that, Pat. Go ahead, show me wrong. All you do is Israel, Israel. Oh, we should go to war for them, right? So he does. Show me wrong, okay? So I watched the whole thing and the whole half-hour discussion. 90% of it was rah rah war. And Vinny saying like, are you guys sure? And Tom saying a little bit like, do you know what you're doing? But even at the end of the day, because Pat wants it, they're like, oh, okay, I guess we should knock out the Ayatollah. Yeah, war's gonna be great for us. I mean, come on, man, stand up for America.
Yeah, so when it comes to standing up to America or for America, this is what we're talking about. The vast majority of Americans do not want this war. They just don't. So there are so many polls cited at this point, but the latest one is from the University of Maryland. So I wanna give you the results of that. It was released on February 15th. When asked, do you favor or oppose the United States initiating an attack on Iran under the current circumstances? 21% of respondents favored the attack. Just 21%, okay? By the way, there are polls that show an even lower percentage, but this one says 21% of them did favor it, 49% opposed it, and 30% said they did not know. Now, support was highest among Republicans, but only at 40%. Only 40% of Republicans favor going to war with Iran. That is a big deal.
And guys, always look at the independents. That's the only thing that decides elections pretty much. And 21% of independents want this war. Basically 8 out of 10 independents. And according to other polling that I cited earlier in the show, one's, I think Reuters at 70% and the one YouGov at 85% against the war. So put them all together, it's about 8 out of 10 Americans are against this war. The 20% are either Israel first or boomers who watch TV and get brainwashed by CNN and New York Times that never talks about the downsides, and is pretending that this war is going to be easy. So no, it's going to be a disaster, and it's going to be Adam Sosnick's fault. It's going to be Mark Levin's fault, Ben Shapiro's fault, Trump's fault, everyone in the administration that co-signed onto this war. And Anna, give them more names to blame, because I want the American people to know who did this to them. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.